Yeah. Gamers rise up. How are we today? My YouTube was like, oh, live streams not allowed. Fuck off. Who do you think you are? Anyways, Brazil, Norway, I believe it's on ITVX. I could be very wrong, but I'm never wrong, so what we're worrying for? Alright. I feel like this game's going to be done in 90 minutes. I just have a feeling. Jumbo, honey. Jumbo, honey. What the fuck's a jumbo? Who's been beamed up? She's left him. Elf. I've got elf. I've got elf setting spray. Sorry. I ordered something and it's supposedly on its way. I can't believe the World Cup's nearly finished. It's only got a few weeks left. That's scary to me. I don't want to watch the England game at 1 a.m., but I suppose we've got to. 3 Americans, 2 Hondurans. Well, Uruguayans weren't happy with their manager. Oh, Lucas Paquetá's injured. Brazil, Alisson, Santos, Magalhães, Marquinhos, Danilo, Casemiro, Bruno, Vinicius Junior, Martinelli, Ryan, and Cunha starting. That's a strong team. People are saying Brazil are not in their heyday, mate. Alisson is called one of the best goalkeepers. Danilo is good. Casemiro is good. Bruno, Vinicius Junior's got skill. Martinelli's fast. Ryan's a Bournemouth, bright, and Cunha I like. And obviously Paqueta. Like, there's a lot of good players that Brazil have. I'm not saying I like some of them, but Nederland, Muller, Wolf, Hegem, Aya, Ryerson, Berg, Odegaard, Nusa, Haaland, and Sola. They've actually got a strong team. Odegaard. Who does Nusa play for again? Didn't realize Sola was Norwegian. Who does Nusa play for? I've heard the name. Alright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna. I'm not feeling of God. Nobody they thought it was a good idea to put it on charge like 10 minutes before this stream. What's happening? I don't understand what's happening. There we go. I do feel like this won't go to extra time. I feel like Norway are gonna mastermind something here. Yes, Norway. Shot. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. Norway up 1-0. Oh, fuck off. So why keep play if you know he's offside? Norway have had, I know some have been forming a sin, but they're keeping the ball well. Crossed in, corner. Hello, viewer, how are you? Go out, Haaland. Crossed in. First of all, that was a very long in the air ball. He looks like a Norwegian Jordan Henderson. I don't like it. Brazil in the box. That's surely out. Hello, another viewer. How are you? Norway have been controlling possession of the game very well, actually. But yes, Brazil on the attack. Ooh, wonderful ball. No, that's not a penna. I'm sorry. Who? Did he? No. I thought he did from the first angle and the one that you showed before there. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to listen to Christina Uncle. Oh yeah, it's a penalty. You're not gonna give it? Oh no, it wasn't a penalty. That's my American accent. I can do a sort of American accent, to be honest with you. Hi, how are you? So, like, I was just out at the club. I don't know. No, no, no. I can do an American accent when I do that picture voice, but the American accent kind of takes over as opposed to just being able to be done. That was quick, but it is a penalty. I think it's a penalty because there was no contact with the ball. I wasn't convinced until another angle. Um, my just like Lee Dixon, my perception of it was he got something on the ball from the live feed. Pull it back for the free kick. Go on, say it. It's a free kick. And here come the mind games, presumably. No, Bruno's taking it. Hang on a minute before I talk about the MCU and its shittiness. Yes, Bruno. Oh, saved! 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 Wow. Hopefully, because I'm supporting Norway today, not that I care for either national team as a deep-rooted connection, I hope he was on the line. Um, the MCU has two movies coming out this year: Spider-Man: Brand New Day, which actually looks good, and Avengers: Doomsday, which is either going to be great or shit. No in between. Hello, viewer. How are you? Um, are you looking forward to Avengers: Doomsday? Because I'm not. Rewatching these three MCU mid-2000s Marvel movies, seeing how different tonally they are because it's not a studio film, it's a film. To know that these adaptations are going to be brought back for the Doomsday and Secret Wars two-parter is a bit worrying. Um, James Marsden is apparently a very good actor. I've only ever seen him in X-Men, Superman Returns, Hop, and Sonic the Hedgehog, so that goes my ability to have an opinion on his acting skills when he's been relegated to a cuckold in four of those films, a buddy to two different CG animals in three different films, and whatever else he's in, probably. Um, but people like Scott Summers. I want to like him because he's my Cyclops. Well, there's only either him or Ty Sheridan, but that era of Marvel films, that's my MCU. So he's my Cyclops. As I've always lovingly talked about, let's see who's here. As I've always lovingly talked about, my MCU is David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury, Wesley Snipes as Blade, the original X-Men trilogy, and then obviously it span off into a Wolverine trilogy, a Deadpool duology, A prequel film, a prequel sequel film, two different timeline films, or one timeline was created after Days of Future Past, which is where Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix take part in, and the New Mutants. But essentially, it's all in that continuity or some variation of it. Um, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, Eric Bana's Hulk, Thomas Jane's Punisher, the Tim Story Fantastic Four cast, Norman Rad, portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne, and the guy that is the fish guy in Hellboy. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he's in there somewhere. Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. You know, that era of Marvel films, and the Man-Thing film, because it's part of that era. That's my MCU. So any actor that portrayed a title character or a superhero slash supervillain, to me, that's my adaptation. Yes, Brazil on the attack. Crossed in, header. Um, so I want to like James Marsden because he's my Scott Summers. Hopefully they do him justice, because I know a lot of Cyclops fanboys can't stand the Bryan Singer version. But to me, that is how Cyclops has always been. Um, I grew up on the 90s cartoon, I hate that word, animated series, but my memory is foggy. Not Nelson, not the weather like Aurora does. Um, and I had the Dog Phoenix arc as a graphic novel from the Marvel Graphic Novels Ultimate Collection, or whatever you want to call it, that the UK did. Obviously, not sure if America did as well. I've got a controversial opinion, can I just say so? I've rewatched X-Men The Last Stand, and Patrick Stewart's Professor X being snappy. People may go, he's nice. In the comics, Professor X is a dickhead. In the comics, Professor X is a literally right, the Dark Phoenix saga, right? In it, I was surprised that Professor X was a dick to Cyclops of all people, even though he values Cyclops as the next man, the next X-Man to lead the X-Men once he dies. Professor X was painted as a lovely fatherly figure in the first two films, but in all honesty, The Last Stand has more of a comic accurate personality where he can be snappy and a dickhead than the first two films. That's my semi hot take, that it kind of nailed the snarkiness that Professor X has, but balanced with the dickheadedness and that lightheartedness, is that a word? But you know what I mean. Like, sometimes Professor X is not a nice person, even to his own team. Um, but The Last Stand is a very good movie. Like, the only issue I've got, which is 1 star less than it would have probably have maybe have gotten, maybe, I don't know, was Eric Lenscher mourned Jean Grey. Yes? Yes, he did. He mourned her. I'm not speaking any sense, am I? This is what happens when you go to bed at about 2:30 in the morning, somehow wake up at 10:15, which is the longest you've ever had a lie in for in probably years. 8 hours. It's usually 5 or 6. And then you've got to now speak. I've got, listen, listen. What I don't get about X-Men The Last Stand is Magneto mourns Professor Xavier. Okay? He mourns his death. He begs Jean, well, begs is a strong word, but he tells Jean not to kill him. She does, and then he takes her in. And he's still telling Pyro that Professor X did more for mutant kind than he will ever know, but has no issue teaming up with the girl that killed his best friend. Because that's what they were, best friends, even through all of this. To me, that just, I can't condone that. Excuse me. In my opinion, I know they're on opposite sides. Professor X and Magneto. I'm aware of that. Free kick Norway. But to me, it just doesn't feel like a real human reaction, which is let's take under the wing of our crusade the woman who's just killed my best friend of half a century. To me, I can't sit well with that. But I do like Magneto when he has no powers left and he realizes what he's done, kind of like Norman Osborn in No Way Home many years later. But I think The Last Stand, I've never properly had an issue with it, I don't think. I don't, like, aside from that issue, I can't think of anything else that I severely disliked. Because you can dislike some stuff, like a character's interaction, but it doesn't mean the movie's bad because of it. It's just how the character is, unless it's annoying. But yes, Brazil, Norway, don't give a penalty. Where's the football? Ah, there. Um, what is it? When Mystique loses her powers, it's like, that hurts. You know what I mean? And people are saying Magneto was a dick for that. Mate, he sees he sees humans as inferior. You know what I mean? He sees humans as beneath him. So obviously now that Mystique is a human, he's left her. But just imagine all your life you've been on the run, masquerading as people doing this and doing that, and your arc ends with you getting shot with the antidote, the cure, the whatever you want to call it, just to protect your mentor, master, best friend, whatever. Anything but a lover. And he just ditches you. I get it. It's just disheartening to see how Mystique's arc ended, but I don't mind it because it kind of sets up the stakes of the movie. So much better than Mystique's death in Dark Phoenix, which I forgot existed, and I need to actually get the DVD of because I forget it exists. But to do that Sam Smith song, I'm not the only one. Um, I like at the end. I know nobody likes The Last Dance. You don't need to be, ooh, just rewatch it. Anyways, I like how Magneto at the end. See, it's a good film. There's a good film in there, and people obviously are looking at it as needed to be thematically deep like the first two. My hot take, if it wasn't for that annoying thing where Magneto takes Jean Grey under his wing after what she did, ooh, that would have been lovely by Noosa. But hydration break. If it wasn't for that, I think it would have been, in my opinion, better than X2, which I know is like a very hot take because people say X2 is better than the first one. My opinion, I've just rewatched the original trilogy. I'm on to Origins Wolverine for the next film. The first one's still the best, in my opinion. We're not going to watch Argentina Egypt because I'm busy working. Sadly, that's on Tuesday. Thursday, we're watching Switzerland, Colombia. Oh no, sorry, Tuesday that is. We're watching Switzerland, Colombia. So I can't read, I can't speak. I've literally watched Enola Holmes 3, Man Thing, Fantastic Four, and The Last Stand. Did my washing, had some food. It's been like a inactive day. I'm not training. But sorry, excuse me. What is I'm probably worried about is the MCU handling the X-Men. Well, let me tell you something. I think the X-Men, and I know this is going to sound controversial, considering I've got a very anti-MCU stance. I do think the X-Men, at least the X-Men brand, not the other teams like X-Force, X-Statix, Generation X, Dark X-Men. The X-Men, the normal team, to me, are in safe hands with the MCU. I genuinely think that. It's the spin-offs I'm concerned for. It's the rest of it that I'm worried about, but not the X-Men themselves. I think they'll be fine, but it's everything else that comes with that umbrella. And then it's choosing the team. I think they do giant size X-Men issue 1. I think they do that. I don't think they do the first team because there's only one woman and they're too afraid to do that again, like they did with the Avengers film. So I think it might be a mashup. But it would be very interesting. Like, how would you handle it? Excuse me. Sorry, hang on. So this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Do you, because we've seen both by Fox and Marvel don't like to do the same thing twice, but they're going to have to for the X-Men. Do you have the Apocalypse plot for the X-Men where they're young, or do you have X-Men 1 where they're already the mentors? How do you want to do that? Brazil didn't get in. Bear with us. Norway, just clear it, man. Just fucking clear it. Sorry. It's not rocket science, just hoof the ball away. Anyways, I am looking forward to seeing more X-Men. They are my favourite supergroup, to my recollection. Um, there's a lot of untapped potential in The Last Stand for an X-Men film, which is the Dark Phoenix saga, which was butchered in that and in Dark Phoenix. Brazil kind of clear it. But there's also the cure. But again, this is where I'm going to be a bit concerned. The entire point of the X-Men, and I know that they coexist within the actual Marvel Comics mainstream universe, my opinion, my worry is how are you handling the X-Men? Because it isn't just like there's two other superhumans out there who are not mutants. You now are accustomed to seeing random people do this, do that. And I appreciate that it's sort of like real life with skin color, with sexuality, with gender. There's always going to be bigots, but why the mutants in particular when you're going to be praising the Avengers, when you're going to be praising Spider Man, when you're going to be praising Thunderbolts? You know what I mean? If you're then praising the Hulk, where's the hatred for the mutants coming in? And I feel like the X Men do better as a standalone series because there's a lot more high stakes if they're the only ones in that universe with superpowers, as opposed to, oh, let's just call up the Avengers. It's always the issue bringing in a different subset of characters within a shared universe. At least with the Avengers, they're all sort of street level. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy, but they're always in space, so you're not really going to be able to call them. Those are like the two branches. Yeah, either on Earth or in space, or in Doctor Strange's case, irrelevant. But now it's like, how are you going to handle the X-Men when you've got all of this going on? And I don't think they should do a soft reboot. I think you either fully commit or continue. Because if I was in charge, if I woke up tomorrow and I said that I was in charge of the MCU, I would do the most controversialist thing and just reboot everything. Recast everyone. Apart from probably Deadpool, because it would work as the character refusing to be recast, refusing to be in another dead universe. Tatiana Maslany would probably be kept as She-Hulk. Again, same reason you can't have Deadpool without She-Hulk, for that reasoning. But it's a very controversial thing I would have done regarding that. But I feel like the MCU needs a clean slate of some description, because now they're saying we're going to recast Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. What is the point of adapting a cinematic universe if a character is either not going to stay dead or it's just going to be recast? There's other characters out there for the studio to use. All they need to do is pick up other comics that are not the ones that are the best selling. If you can make a fucking TV show out of Riri Williams, who nobody gave a toss about when she was getting comics made, I think you can delve a bit deeper and actually look at other characters to use instead of continuously rebooting Peter Parker, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Bruce Banner. You know what I mean? But he has no way on the attack. Shocked? Sign it. I just feel like the MCU has run its course. Um, I would love to just not have a cinematic universe because I feel like everything ends up being connected, but not everything needs to be. I feel like X-Men just work better when they're the only superheroes out there, as opposed to having the Avengers or whatever. I used to collect the Marvel fact files, and there was a lot of different X-Men groups and stuff which I loved learning about. And there's one where it's like half Avengers, half X-Men, where Captain America's leading them, because Captain America doesn't care. As long as their heart and soul's in the right place, who cares? Haaland, Allison saves. But I've not watched Thunderbolts. I've not watched whatever as at First Steps it's called. I've not watched Agatha All Along. I've not watched Echo. But it's like he already had the best Fantastic Four film. It came out in 2005. Um, Apparently they're all good. Like the shows and the movies that I've said I've not watched. But I've just got no interest in Agatha Harkness as a character. I'm sorry, but I don't. I've got no interest in her. I've got an interest in Maya Lopez because she's in the Daredevil movie tie-in game. And obviously, like I said, that's my MCU, that's my era of superhero things. So because she's a boss in that game, I'll watch the Disney Plus show because she was in my MCU universe. Obviously, I love the Fantastic Four. First three films, 94, or 05, or 07. I don't talk about 15. And then Thunderbolts, it's like, if I don't, I'm not going to read an issue of a super team. I'll watch a series or a movie. If I don't care for every single one in that group, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't care for every member in that group, but yes, Brazil shot, blocked. Yes, Brazil. Yes, Vinicius Jr. saved. Corner. And Odegaard's the captain, is he? Overrated card is what I called him. And I still maintain that belief. It's raining, man. Hallelujah, it's raining, man. Hallelujah, it's raining, man. Bosh, bosh. Brazil had a back to their goalkeeper. Norway deflected corner. Five minutes left. Norway on the attack. Is that lightning? Is it just light? Have I just seen lightning in real life? I saw a white flash or something crazy. How many stoppage time minutes? I don't know what those are. 6 minutes. Would have only have been three if they didn't need to be drinking water. Norway managed to get the ball back before Brazil could counter. So Morocco is that like a French island or something? So I saw a meme about France and Morocco. How either if I I can't speak. Whoever wins is still going to be shooting down the Eiffel Tower like in the Call of Duty thing. Is that that guy's jokes? There's Haaland. Shot. Saved by Alisson. Hmm. Hi, thank you. What kept Bruno's player? To be fair, Brazil was shit in the first half against Japan and woke up. But that was also because Japan fell asleep at half time. Shot. What happened? Lost in. I think he would have been offside. Oh, he was, yeah. That would have, stops to live. I can't speak. Why can't I speak? 45 seconds left. Ooh, Brazil quick free kick. Yes, Vinny. Who does I play for? Is it half time? I think it is. Half time is no teach. I'll be back in a few minutes. Life is a highway, you're my I'm back and I've got me ice cream again. Ultimately, I think the MCU is going through another rebuild phase, but I think they need to book their ideas up ASAP because it's just not on with the way that they're trying to present themselves as, which is over convoluting everything. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU, which I know is controversial. You have to like the MCU. No, I don't. The best Iron Man film is number three. Thor was good until Ragnarok. The Incredible Hulk needs to be loved more. The first Avengers, the best Captain America film. Civil War's shit because it's an Avengers film labeled as Captain America 3. The first Avengers film is still one of the best Marvel films, period. You know what I mean? I've got these hot takes. Don't worry. Hot, which is why I'm getting ice cream to cool myself down. Does he? Sorry, we'll talk later. No. So, hello viewer, how are you? Just the punditry on for now. You know, smoking an ice cream cone. Um, the MCU is a dying breed, and I hope it does end up collapsing in on itself, just so we can get more standalone superhero stuff again, because everything has to be connected, and it is annoying. Some men just want to watch them all burn. So, these come out adverts where they're like, they eat the ice cream, but they get no ice cream on their lips. Nah, but um, I just feel like movies now that are franchise based feel like all they need to do is connect it to something. If you've seen Transformers, was it Rise of the Beasts, which was a shit film? They try to make a Hasbro cinematic universe, and look how good that's doing. Oh wait, they cancelled it or something. The Mummy movie with Tom Cruise was meant to kickstart a dark universe, like the Hammer horror films, but modernized again. But yeah, I don't think entirely the connective tissue is what's wrong with the MCU. It's just part of the problem because I feel like at the end of the day, everybody's more than happy to look at an MCU film and go, yeah, that's a good 2 hours just to spend time. When was the last time an MCU film was thematically deep all the way through? Probably Shang-Chi. That was 2021. Because Marvel just want to make kid-friendly movies. Deadpool and Wolverine's kid-friendly. It's just got swearing in it. iPhones on private, they break your phone just to get the new one. Why is Lamine Yamal in this advert? Jaw, jaw freeze. How are you, viewer? Hope you're doing well on this Sunday evening. Now finish my Coca-Cola. Monster's going to be consumed at like 1 a.m. A 60-year-old girl. A girl can't be 60 years old. That's a not even a woman. It's a mummy. I'm joking. The pensioner. Might have been wrong when I said I assumed this game would just be a 90-minute one. I throw my hands up in the air. The GTI. Nobody laughs like that when they get a brand new car because eventually, once you've had a car for ages, you've had a car for ages. You know what I mean? A robot. How do we know the England team selection before England themselves probably know? Doloff and Nusa have been taken off. On Bob and Schroeder, 3 changes left. Had some big subs being taken off. Big players. What's this? Mexico versus England. Complete head-to-head record ahead of World Cup clash. I don't care. It doesn't matter what your record is. Just win the fucking game. That is what football is. That is what any sport is. Fuck the head-to-head records. You win that game in the 90 minutes and it's fine. Nobody cares. Neymar, because I'm in an X-Men mood, I think it's only fair we talk about the X-Men that I grew up with. I grew up with the X-Men trilogy on DVD, Origins Wolverine and the Wolverine. Logan, I was gifted on a birthday. Never thought I would because of the age rating and a restrictive childhood, even though I was at the time of age, I think, 15. The 90s X-Men series existed briefly on CITV. I had Apocalypse as well. Deadpool 1 I somehow was allowed to have 4-1-2-3 formation Brazil. So Marvel fact files I had, which was collections of Marvel characters and teams and information. UK publication, Eaglemont or whoever used to do them. Um, Crossing, deflected, Norway 4-1-2-3 formation. I'll get back to you about the X-Men. Just a reminder that Nusan Soloth are off, Schleider and Barbaron. Handball. So my X-Men childhood was all of the films on DVD that released between 2000 and 2017, because I went into care in 2018. But because care was like an eye-opener for freedom, the restrictiveness of mine is what I look back when I think of stuff fondly or unfondly. When I think of what I had, because it was more restrictive, and I had it, it was something special, if that makes sense. Um, I left care in 2026, so from 2018 to 2026, it was a massive um, freedom opener for us, which meant I don't want to be thinking about the freedom I was given to then watch stuff. When I talk about growing up, to me, growing up is before care, and that's when I started actually try and be an adult, even though I was 15 and a half. But anyways, Deadpool 2, that was probably out at the time, but I never watched it until I went into care, which is why the DVDs end with Logan for 2017. The 90s animated series, I had CITV reruns, watched of it, some episodes. What an awful shot. That was deflected, surely. With a shot like that? No. Crazy. Um, uh, I'm trying to think if I had any of the 90s episodes on VHS, because I had the 90s Spider-Man compilations, Spider-Man versus Doc Ock, I think it was that one, and definitely Spider-Man versus Venom. I had those on VHS. One of them had the Daredevil episode on as well. But I love the X-Men, the Marvel fact files I was talking about before. There would be random things each issue about stuff to collect, and eventually we'd have like an entire fact file thing, which was the point. Anyways, there was a lot of X-Men groups, and I think that kind of put forward my appreciation for the X-Men. Um, I never watched Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, the Marvel anime series. I think I caught a teeny tiny bit of Mutant X, which as a kid, um, I was like, oh, that's the X-Men. But had a feeling it was before actually seeing their name appear or something. I'm not entirely sure what made me click on it was legit Marvel, but when I saw the name, I was like, Mutants with an X. Surely that's X-Men. But I don't think I watched any of the episodes. I watched like a teeny tiny bit. Obviously it's not it's murky territory. It was meant to be made to coincide with the X-Men release, but it was a Sony venture and wasn't approved by Fox or something, and there's a lawsuit or whatever. But yeah, I mean the characters are original anyways. So excuse me. But it is what it is. I can't speak. I've watched 4 films today. Literally got up at 10:15, stuck on the first movie by about 10:30, then ate something at 6:20, then did the washing before 6:20. No, finished at 6:20 the films. Did my washing and made something at about 6:20. It's just I've not done a lot, so I'm not have like actually talk, if you know what I mean. So like now it's like whoa, but no, I love the X-Men. I've always maintained they're my favorite supergroup. The Avengers are cool, but again, my issue with supergroups, which is why I don't read every issue of them. I'll watch every TV show, watch every film, play any of the games that come out, and people go, "That's cool," but it doesn't mean I want to play it. As of right now, there's no interest in me playing any superhero group games. There's no interest in me playing any Avengers games or X-Men games or the Midnight Suns game. No cross result clear. And the reason for that is in order for me to actually indulge myself in a superhero group story, whether that's an issue or an episode or a film or a game, I have to be a fan of every single character within that supergroup and that iteration being used. Otherwise, no thank you. And obviously, that is a very restrictive thing when it comes to supergroups because I'm not a fan of every mutant. Therefore, I don't want to be watching every episode. Yeah, it's Vinicius Jr. Corner. Yeah, I think it hit Vinny Jr. when he was out of play. So as of right now, I literally can't see myself playing any superhero group game because I need to like every single character. And I don't see anything wrong with me being restrictive like that, because otherwise I'm then going to be reading a 100 issue series where there's 6 mutants and I dislike heavily 5 of them, but all because it's the X-Men, I've got to read them. One is more than enough for me to dislike enough to engage myself with. So yeah. But I'll tell you the games as well I loved of the X-Men. X-Men, the official game on the DS I had, which I played for like 5 minutes and gave up because I think it's a stylus game. Um, Spider-Man 3 did that as well on the DS. The stylus was used for the combat, and it was annoying. Ironically, though, the Spider-Man 3DS game is rated positively and is the highest rated Spider-Man 3 game out of all of them, which is a damning indictment on how Spider-Man 3 on the main consoles, what do you call it, the flagship version? Flandry calls it that, the YouTuber. It's a down indictment on how Spider-Man 3 shot the bed so hard as a video game. I love the movie, but the video games itself. I love games. I've not played games properly in ages because I'm currently watching a bunch of films, but I love games. Wolverine comes out. I'm a fan of Logan. Is that Kevin Hart? Not Kevin Hart, what's his name? Yeah, that's him, Chris Rock, sorry. Oh, Woody Harrelson. Anyway, sorry. Um, I get mixed up with Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, and Eddie Murphy. I'm sorry, but it's not racist. It's about 50% fun. It's not racist because I get mixed up with quite a lot of people that look the same. Not saying that they look the same because they're black, but I get a lot of blondes mixed up with people. I feel like I'm just digging myself a hole. I feel like I'm just digging myself a massive hole that I just want to climb into. But what I'm trying to say is I get people mixed up all the time. Sometimes I think a black friend of mine is white because I see a white guy, and the first thing I do is not look at the skin color, I look at the clothing, and I see a purple hoodie and I go, oh, there he is. But it's a white guy. I say, oh, that's not him. So it's not like, it's because those three are comedians, you know what I mean? They're short, but Eddie Murphy's not short. But he has a substitution with Matthias Cunha off and Endrick on for changes left. So yeah, it's like that. Rebecca Ferguson. No, yes. Rebecca Ferguson, Annabelle Wallace, Mia Wachowski. They look the same. Jessica Chastain looks the same as Bryce Dallas Howard. You know what I mean? I think Demi Lovato, Demi Moore and Jennifer Connelly look the same. You know what I mean? But yes, Brazil. Hendrick missed. Anyways, X-Men, the official game, wasn't a huge fan of. I did nearly die, literally. Hello there, viewer. You came in at a good time. I nearly died when I was little, literally. There's a game called X-Men Next Dimension, also known as the best X-Men game ever, and it's a combat game. I rushed a cheeseburger down my gob just so I could play it, and I was choking on the burger, literally choking. And if my dad, who I don't see anymore, but if my biological father hadn't been in that room, I would have been dead. And my little sister, who I don't speak to, there's a trend here anymore, she would have been witness to me being dead. So X-Men Next Dimension nearly took my life away. Take my life away. But it's a good game. I love Next Dimension. I never had a home media console growing home media. Can't speak, man. I never had a home console growing up. So like whenever I'd go to the people's houses, I'd be like, oh, there's a PlayStation, oh, there's an Xbox. 'Cause I never had one. I just had DSs. So yeah. Endrick takes a shot, deflected corner. Um, I'm contemplating watching Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix separately outside of the X-Men binge. Because obviously they're just alternate sequels and prequels aren't. No, but then Days of Future Past, aren't they? That's one of the best X-Men films, Days of Future Past. Crossed in by Bruno, punched away by the goalkeeper, Norway header away with Oscar Bob. But I love the X-Men. Oh, good save. Previously on X-Men. You know what I mean? That's a fantastic theme. Turns out, like, the Donny that did that, yeah, was the same one who did the Power Rangers opening. So, that's my guy. That's my goat. Was it Rick Wasserman? That's my goat. Even the X-Men film series, the first two that used the theme, I don't think number three did, because it might have been a different composer. The first two X-Men films in the early 2000s, that theme as well is great as well. What's this? Offside. So as soon as entry comes on, the entire play just positively attacks. But yeah, um, Ryerson off, Arsenal on two changes left for Norway. Oh. I'm trying to think if there's any superhero games, like team up games, superhero team games I'd play. Obviously, the Fantastic Four. Um, like any movies that had a video game adaptation, I'd play the video game one from the pre MCU mid 2000s era. But even then, there's an X-Men game based on The Last Stand, which is like a sort of bridge in between X-Men 2 and The Last Stand. But all you do is play as Wolverine, Iceman, and Nightcrawler, so it's not like a true X-Men game, which is why I don't want to count it as one. But then obviously the Fantastic Four had three game adaptations, a Game Boy Advance exclusive, includes on the list, which is Flame On, where he plays the Human Torch. But to me, the Fantastic Four isn't a supergroup like any other ones, because it's very rare that they switch members, as opposed to the Avengers who change on the daily, the X-Men who have so many. Crossed in by Norway. Oh, corner. The Avengers game, I think I've still got on my PlayStation. You know that game that nobody cares for? The 2021. Because I don't know if I want to indulge myself into Kamala Khan's comics. As of right now, there's no interest in me to do so because I've kind of got to be very difficult when it comes to choosing which characters I read the comics of because there's so many comics. I don't want to be choosing a character that might be relatively cool, but there's no need for me to want to. There's no way. Nearly. It's like I base my want of characters on my MCU that I grew up with. Nick Fury, Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hulk, Elektra, The Punisher, Man-Thing, Silver Surfer, Wolverine, Deadpool, that era of Marvel films, and obviously Captain America from 1990, because I feel like he would have been the perfect Steve Rogers sort of for that universe. Gabriel Martinelli and Ryan off for Brazil. On Neymar Jr. and Danilo Santos to change his left for Brazil. The, but all of the characters affiliated with that iteration of Marvel films and stuff, um, that's all good. I mean, Kamala Khan is a massive nerd like me, but I don't know. What annoys me is how Marvel have sold themselves out. They're now doing comics for NFL players, and it's just like, what are you doing? Be honest, what are you doing? Marvel went from making the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, to then making fucking a limited series of NFL players being given superpowers or something. Let's not forget about the New Warriors, that whole uh, diversity, infamous one that happened, Snowflake, and the one that's chronically online and all of that is ridiculous. But I feel like in order to consume characters, you've got to be very harsh on who you consume because comics are like ridiculous. I want to get into my comics. The unfortunate thing of living in England is there's not many comic shops available in my area. There's a few down like uh, Shopland town centre, half an hour away from me transport wise, but yeah. Mhm. What about you, viewer? Do you like Marvel or DC? Oh, right. I didn't know that. Okay. Turns out whoever wins this game is gonna face the winners of the Mexico England game, which means okay. I don't know who I would want because Like replay shit anyways. I know I've got me good day, mate. T-shirt on, but that's because the England one is currently drying on my clothes horse. But it will be worn at 1 a.m. I don't want to be up for that. It's an awful time. I think it's the only awful time we'll be playing at. Yeah, I spoke them anyways. Yes, Norway. Could have passed to Bob. Passed to Bob. What's Odegaard doing, man? Bob was there twice for Odegaard. Overrated God. He's fucking shit. You know what it is, right? Arsenal may have won the Premier League somehow. Was that no red cards, no penalties given? But they've got some shit players. Odegaard is shit. Trossard is shit. Gyökeres is a magnet. Shit. Madueke is shit. Saka off of the season. Shit. You know these two? Thomas Frank. DiCaprio. Stop! Toby! Toby! Toby Maguire! Toby! I didn't see him. Because my hands are in the way. He's childhood friends with Leonardo DiCaprio. He nearly played Spider-Man for James Cameron, actually. But that movie never materialized. There's going to be a massive sex scene on the bridge of whatever the bridge is in America that people love. I feel like you can tell that the commentator doesn't watch films because he once played Spider-Man a long time ago. Mate, did he not realize he came back in 2021 and he's more than likely going to be in the new Avengers film that comes out in December? Come on, man. Crossed, deflected. I just had to bow down to Tobey Maguire, my Spider-Man, my Peter Parker. You know, fuck Andrew Garfield, fuck Tom Holland, fuck Nicholas Hammond, fuck Japanese Spider-Man. No, no. I jest. I love Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Tom Holland was never the one that was responsible for the awfulness. It was the reliance on Sugar Daddy Iron Man saved. No, no. I was joking. All the live action Spider-Mans have something about them. Andrew Garfield was always overhated. Loved those two films. Loved them when I saw them in the pictures. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's a very good movie hidden in there. Tom Holland has enthusiasm, love, and passion. He was never the reason why Peter Parker was Iron Boy Jr. He was never the reason those movies didn't turn into spandex neighborhood saving Spider-Man and it became an Avengers B-Tech film of the week situation where Adrian Toomes could have been something a lot more than just being wronged by Tony Stark. And Nicholas Hammond was the first ever in, you know, verbally speaking wise, in a licensed TV show or movie because he did have a pilot film. the first live action Spider-Man. I don't know if he came after the one that did all the adverts for like the voting for government and stuff like that. And obviously Spider-Man is in Spidey Super Stories, a segment on the Electric Company from 1974. Yes, I'm autistic. Um, so Nicholas Hammond kind of paved the way for more Peter Parker stories to be told in live action, in my opinion. People weren't a massive fan of the TV show, Stanley included, but someone's got to walk, so others can run. And obviously, Tobey Maguire and Ice Spice have been in the news recently. The most randomest thing to see Tobey Maguire be in the news for. Had he been at that match, this match with Ice Spice, questions certainly would have been raised. But what is an all-white party? Where it's just white people. Well, that's stupid. Is Ice Spice white? I don't think she is, you know. She talks like she's not white. Bruno Gamarez is off. Bruno Gamarez off on Edison Silva. No changes left for Brazil. It's Tobey Maguire. Brazil World Cup match. Tom Holland, World Cup player, Messi advert for Brand New Day. What about what? Header? Oh, it's 1-0. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. Um Andrew Garfield needs to be at the World Cup. He should lift the trophy instead of Trump. Oh, is it Gabriel? What a wanker. She's loving it. Just clear it, man. What's happening? Get out of the way. Out of the way, back post. Near post, back post. Still a post. Just like the office. Crossed in Brazil. Out of the way. Away. What's happening in Norway? Yeah, but it shouldn't be almost being like, oh, poor hydration break at a certain point in time. Hydration break should not exist unless it's literally ridiculous weather to be in. Oh, what a save! What a save! What a save! That was, to me, in. Excuse me. Casemiro wide. That a throw-in. Whoa, fuck off. That's a fuck off. Says that man. I see on the attack, and I feel like they're just going to be taking the piss again. Oh my God, corner. A 5 minutes left, I would imagine. Maybe 7, because of obviously the stoppage there. Goal kick. Whoa. One shot. 2-0. How young is he? He looks baby faced. Why she got half and half on? Don't agree with that. Bosh. Through the legs of Gabrielle, was that a no? .7 minutes, I told you. Eh, Just remember, Belgium, Senegal. Crossed in by Brazil. Norway semi-deal with it. Norway clear it. What's that? England, France, Italy, Germany, Spain. Who's the one missing? See how when they take Bruno off, it all goes to shit. Norway still won another one. Ah, yeah, has been taken off for Norway. Ustigard on, one change left. Yellow card for Neymar. Not even a minute left for Norway. Altercation happening. Vinny Jr. pointing at the linesman's face. What? No, it's not a penalty. I mean, he's out already. It doesn't even matter if it's just 2-1. It's just less embarrassing, I guess. Like, oh, we scored a goal. Surely the ref has to blow his whistle now. What? What's he doing? What's he doing? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you at 1 o'clock. I don't want to be here at 1 o'clock.